because I refuse to not be first.
Do we do enough? Well, I never shut up about it.
It must have been about 16, 17. We nicked their guilt rings. Right, the bouncer's guilt ring.
This is no good for me. That's the reality. If you want the honest truth, and I see it every day.
Oscar Bevis, IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast. Delighted to be joined by Charlie Edwards, mate. It has been ages. I reckon it's been upwards of like maybe nearly 18 months.
Yeah, so last time I fought was about a year and 4 months ago. So it's been, what has felt a lifetime for me. It's been a very hard, mentally challenging year. From no fault of my own. I've been in the gym grafting week in, week out, dedicating my life as always to the sport of boxing, getting better and better in the gym, and putting in some serious performances in the ring, in the sparring ring against some very good quality world level operators. And yeah, it's been a very, very tough time. Chasing fights, nothing happening, and it was just a shit last year for me. And it weren't my fault. So it's just like, we're past that now, finally, and we're moving on to the next moves, and there should be some news very soon about my next fight.
Yeah, I can't wait to see you back in the ring. Has it been quite strange in the sense that you go from being in a massive limelight, so I can imagine you get loads of questions, or I've had loads of questions from people going, what's happened? Because there'll be a lot of people who, I mean, I know because I'm reading boxing news and I'm seeing all of this online, but there's probably a lot of people out there who are loving your journey, who, because you haven't been fighting, have probably, I guess, said to you like, mate, what on earth's going on?
Yeah, 100%. Listen, I get a lot of love and a lot of publicity and a lot of attention from fans, boxing people, friends, family. Everyone is always asking me continuously, what's going on when your next fight? And you know what? That's soul destroying and killing, because when you can't come back with an answer that you want to give, and when you're putting in the work all the time, you only have to look on my social channels, mate. I train harder than most people who have got a fight in 3 weeks' time, you know. And I have not got a fight as of yet, but it's coming soon. And it's been really, really emotionally challenging, mentally challenging. But I'm trusting the process. I'm using what I can control, and my control is my work ethic and my attitude to the sport of boxing. And I'll continue to improve, continue to get better. And when I do get that opportunity to shine again, which is coming very soon, I will be very proud of myself and pat myself on the back how much I sacrificed and dedicated through this hard time. I could have easily lost my head, gone off the plot, gone partying, drinking all the time, just fucking off life, and be further and further away from what I want to achieve in the sport of boxing. But every single day I've developed, every single day I've got better, I've worked on weaknesses. I've really gelled now with Joe, and I'm at a different stage. And I do believe, really highly believe, that everything happens for a reason sometimes. And this is the kind of hard path I've had to take to make me the person that I am today, that is going to deliver in the next 12 months to become a bantamweight world champion. The belts now are all vacant. The Monster and Uwe's moved up away, and the belts are getting contested for. I was highly ranked in in two of the governing bodies, the WBO and the WBC. However, being inactive and not being able to fight over these last year and 3 months, I just dropped out of the rankings. However, I get one fight, I'm straight back in them. You know, I get me a world ranking fight, straight back in them, and then we push on to whoever the champion is. I know there's Maloney's fighting for the WBO. I'm not sure who against, and I know Donaire's also fighting for the WBC, and they're two fights in the future that I would really love. Donaire's an absolute legend of the sport. He's got a resume like none other. He's a real Hall of Famer. I believe he's a great, unbelievable fighter, and it would be definitely someone who I would really be eager to challenge myself up against. But albeit we've got to take one fight at a time, get back my world ranking in the not too distant future, and then we push on for that onslaught.
Yeah, mate, one thing that you can't deny is that you will be coming back to a sexy division at world level, that's for sure. Has it been hard? And obviously, I've just heard you speak to someone else about this a little bit, but obviously I wasn't listening too intently. You and Sonny have got so much love for each other, you're brothers, nothing's ever going to change that. Has it been, I'm not going to say hard because that makes it kind of sound a bit bitter, but has it been difficult in a weird sense watching someone achieve something that you want to be living as well? Like, you want to be world champions alongside each other, knowing you can do it, but just kind of not having that capability at that moment. Like, has it been difficult in a sense watching Sonny. I don't want to make it sound bitter, but do you know where I'm coming from?
No, I completely get that, because some, like, it can come across as maybe a bit jealous or envious. I wouldn't say jealous. Jealous is a very strong word, because I'm so proud of my brother, and he deserves everything he's ever got. Like, he's worked hard. When I was flying and when I was world champion, he was on the uppers and he was coming through the hard way, and he had to prove himself. But I think it's because I was already at the top, and then like, I got dashed aside and pushed aside the way I did, and then COVID hit and everything went quiet, and then I've had bad luck upon bad luck and not been able to have the right decisions and fights along the way, that it was very hard to see. Not hard to see him winning, because I want him to win, but it's hard to sit on the sideline. It's like being benched. Like, if you ask a football player, like, "Oh, you pissed off your bench?" Of course they're pissed off their bench. They want their time to shine. We're in this sport as an individual to shine, and like, my brother's a great fighter. I'm also a great fighter, and I feel like at this stage in my career that it's been very tough to deal with as a person, but I haven't allowed that to affect me too much. Me and my brother still have a lot of love and a lot of care and things for each other, and we support each other thick and thin. But it's made me more hungry, more determined. It's inspired me more, because it's made me want to compete at a higher level in the gym. It's made me want to every day become better, every day live this life, live it, breathe it. I spend 6 to 9 weeks away from my little daughter and my wife, you know, and dedicating in the gym over here with Joe. And I haven't had the chance to fight. Like, I've been coming back thinking, oh yeah, praying that something's going to come off, and it hasn't. It fell apart, and then it was just like, it's the highs, like, you know, like you're looking forward so much to something, and you're giving yourself false hope that, yeah, it's going to come, it's my time now, and then it's like a kick in the bollocks again. Now, oh fuck's sake, it's not happening again. What have I done to deserve this? Do you know what I mean? Like, I fought everyone throughout my career. I fought John Real Casemiro in my 9th fight, you know. I fought my mandatory. I fought Rosales, who was coming off a big 3 knockout wins, and it was the most feared in the division at that time. And then I fought I defended, and then I fought my mandatory Martinez.
It makes it sound like you felt like, sorry to interrupt you, but it made it sound like you felt like it was almost unfair luck in a sense, because it's like, when I've done all this good stuff, why does it have to, Joe, when you're in that situation of why is it me? Like, pick anyone, why is it me?
Yeah, and it does come to that. Like, and like I say, I fought Martinez in that big controversial bullshit where it's a weight I shouldn't have fought at. I really wish now, in my heart of my hearts, I just vacated and moved up and fought Estrada or whoever was at the next weight and challenged myself at a different thing. But I thought I had to. I felt my pride and ego wouldn't allow me not to. I'd rather go out on my arse than not at all. So, like, I shouldn't have never done that weight. And then when the controversial shit happened to me, and then everyone turned on me, because then I had to vacate because I could not make the weight again without probably killing myself. And also, Martinez failed a drugs test, and then, like, my promoter didn't dash me to the side because I chose to leave after that, but it felt like I had been betrayed to then see him being signed, and it was just like completely head fucking. So it made me fall out of love with boxing as well. So it's been like a rocky roller coaster to me to get me back to this point, and it's been a mentally tough and challenging side. Like I said, sitting on the sideline and not getting my opportunity when all I do is dedicate my life 120% to boxing. After spending all the time away from my family, living in the gym week in, week out, doing all my treatments, literally making every 0.0001% better every day. I'm trying to better myself. So it's been frustrating, but then I'm a big believer in sometimes everything happens for a reason, you know, and I had to go all through this time to allow my body to grow. I've built power in my legs. I'm not running and making light weights anymore, so I've filled out into the division. I'm a strong bantamweight now, which is showing in the gym. I'm hitting so much harder, and the art of it is I've been missing. I've been off air, I've been off TV, I've been off this and that, so people still look at me like I'm that Charlie Edwards of the flyweight days. And when I am back, it will be my kind of, I think it will be a big breakout moment again, where draws will drop and I will go bang and explode back on the scene, because I know what I've been working on. Joe's fully confident in me, and like he said on countless times, just like what happened to Tasha was wrote off, and she come down and unified the division and bring Ring Magazine belt in a year, and Joe's putting me in that kind of bracket. Even Paul Butler was writ off and he come back and won the bantamweight world title. So it just goes to show, like, some things happen for a reason. The hardest and darkest of times, you've got two choices in it. You either buckle up and fucking get your head down and just graft it out and just take no for an answer, and it will make you a different person. So I'm looking forward to this next stage. Yeah. Really.
Obviously, it is about the here and now for you, and I can tell how you've kind of got that laser focus for the next year to achieve what you want to achieve. I do just quickly want to ask, was there ever any point where it was not going to be boxing going forward? Any little consideration, even a 1% in the back of your mind where you thought, do you know what, it might have to be something that isn't boxing for me?
In my head, I had at a stage when I moved to Portugal, when I quite made it vocal that I was making the move to Portugal. In my head, I didn't ever say it out loud, but in my head I thought, you know, I'm sick of this, I'm done with it. I was thinking about calling it a day. Real talk. See the snakes in the game, like see things happen, and got fed to the wolves, and then I felt like it was just like, oh, your time's up, kick you a piece of meat off the treadmill, and with the next one away we go. So I really felt like I was on my lowest of lows. My confidence was shot to bits. I was having people telling me in my head I was getting old at 28. Like, it was just like ridiculous. And when I moved to Portugal, I then decided to take a step away from my last gym, and then I was going there to set my life up. And then 2 months into that, I got my head together. I was saying to my missus, because everyone kept asking me, what's going on with you? What are you doing? When you're fighting next? This, that, and the other. And I was like, I just want to tell everyone that I've retired. I just want to just stop this fucking like horrible situation where you feel like anxious every time someone messages you and you feel like you're hiding something. And she was like, don't do it yet. Wait till you settle, get your house, settle down, and then make a decision. So we bought our house 2 weeks before we moved in. I was sitting on the balcony, I was just looking up, and my head was going. I started running back this time, just getting a bit stronger, like doing a bit more weights. Still not boxing, but I was like, you know, I need to look after myself, and I stopped living like just eating what I want and having a drink here and there when I want it. Like, fuck that off. And then I was sitting there with her, and I went, babe, do you know what? I've got too much potential. And she was like, what are you on about? I was like, babe, I've got too much. I can't walk away from this sport. I was seeing my brother smashing it, seeing everyone else smashing it, and I was thinking, I can be a world champion again. Like that person who was doing the flyweight and that last fight, reading all into social media hate trolls and everything like that. That isn't me. Like now I've got myself back together, my head back together. I'm feeling happier again. I realised, and then that's when Joe was coming out to Portugal. We had a little link up, and he was the one who brought the confidence and brought everything back. Now we've been together 2 years, and I've come on leaps and bounds, and it's just about getting that stage now in the right place to show it.
Mate, I can't wait to see you back in the ring. It's gonna be so good to see you back, and it will be sweet when you get in an arena, and it'll be so sweet when you do get that belt. So I'll just end with a pretty simple question: end of 2023 or even mid 2024, Charlie Edwards, world champion?
100%. Charlie Edwards and the new.
Refuse to not be first.
Do we do enough? Well, I never shut up about it.
It must have been about 16, 17. We nicked their guilt rings. Right, the bouncer's guilt ring.
This is no good for me. That's the reality. If you want the honest truth, and I see it every day,